real
Okay.
quick, let's go on ahead just so he can give this to you. So I didn't want to leave you hanging. You know what I mean? I didn't want to tell you all that and
Who
just
you
say that.
talking to
Oh
me?
well,
Me?
Neb, I don't want
Oh,
you to feel
thank
like
you.
I don't want
I'm
you to
going to
feel like.
research it. I'm going to look.
Oh, I'm doing it for you. Look, here we
Thank you.
go. Black marriage in America. Look, here's what we got. Black marriage in America. Can you see? I'm gonna make it. I'll
Mhm.
try to make it a little bit bigger
Yeah,
for
I'm
you.
next
Black
time
marriage in
I'm going to
America.
have to get on my computer because I'm on my phone.
Okay, no problem. Black marital status. Black married 30%,
Mhm.
3% separated, 12% divorced, 6% widowed, never married, 50%. Black
Mhm.
men 33% married, 52% never married. Black women 27% married. Black women never married, 48%. Marriage statistics by race. 30% black married, 50% never married. Hispanic, 43% married, never married, 43%. White, 52% married, 28% never married. Asian, 58% married, never married, 31%. So, black people as a whole, we are
We
the
don't
most
marry.
unmarried, by far the most unmarried group.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can
And
believe
once
that.
again, like I said, black men never married, 52%. Now, if I were to overlap this number with the number of black men that don't have children, it's going to say the same 52,
Pull up
roughly
that
52
study.
to 54%. I may get there. I may get there. What I'm trying to say is that I'm providing information and you're not. And the
I'm
reason
going to
why I can,
provide it.
and
I
the
can't
reason,
share
and the
my
reason why,
screen.
well, here's what I'm saying is that I'm provide information and statistics and you have just provided feelings. And
I
that is
have not
generally,
provided feelings.
and that is generally the disconnection between when we have these types of conversations. When I say, hey, I know for a fact that black men are majority of us are not married and don't have kids. And you consistently overtalked me and was like, no, they don't, no, they don't, no, they don't, no, they don't, no, they don't. When I have the data to prove to back up what I was saying. Do you understand why we can never get anything accomplished when that's the interaction, when that's how it happens?
I'm sorry you misunderstood my intentions behind that. I don't want to argue with you about that, but I would love to bring up the statistics. You have to let me get prepared because I wasn't prepared to call in. I really just called in about the fact of the slave camps, but in my
Mm-hmm.
perception on how that happened in and that particular group that I feel that still has epigenetics trauma still behind it that affects our community as a whole. But I will definitely get back with you with my facts on that. So on that point, but I can believe that marriage is not a priority in our community, and I think that is
I don't think that's a fair
something
statement.
that affects both black men and black women, and especially
I
our
think
culture
black,
as a whole. And it's not that I'm coming argumentative or different stuff like that. That's really not how I like to discuss things. But I feel that if we just start blaming each other and it's your fault and it's your fault and all of that, we'll never get anywhere. I think we as individuals, both
do you
black
see
men
this?
and black women,
Can you
have
see
to
this on
take
the screen?
accountability. Yeah, and I do data, I do census, I do surveys, and they can be skewed. And I'm going to
Do
look
you see what
that
this
up
says?
totally. And you know what we do? I have to look to see those people who did the study, if that
Yeah, I
study is
can.
peer reviewed, and
You
all
mean the
of the
United
background
States?
behind it.
You mean the United States Census Bureau?
But what is what are you studying? What was the
the
survey? You're
the
pulling up
United
something, but
States
I feel like you just want to be
the
argumentative. It's not
United
argumentative
States
because it's
Census
a real
Bureau.
big problem between men and women,
You mean the
and it's
United
nothing to
States
really
Census
argue about.
Bureau? You mean the United States Census Bureau?
No, and those have to be pure.
You know, look, listen, do you know how
on,
do you
on
do you
what?
know
And
how
that's
crazy
from
you sound?
2000.
I'm
What
so
is
glad
that?
you
That's
I'm
from
so glad
18.
you
I can't
came
even
to
see
that,
that. That's
because you
from
know what this shows? Do you know what this
1890 to
shows?
200. That,
Do
but
you
that
know what
you're
this
not even showing
shows?
me the study.
Do you know
What
what
is that?
there's not a
Pull out
this
the.
is not a study. This is census data. This is not a study. A study is I'm going to take the
I know
first
what a
10,000.
study is. I
Listen,
do
okay, listen.
study.
Okay, well then if you knew what a study was, then we wouldn't be having this conversation now, would we? Now,
Are
I'm going to go
you?
ahead and mute you for a split second. If I was taking a study and I said, okay, I'm going to do a study on black people, I'm going to take the first 10,000 black people that I meet and I'm going to ask them what color they see when I hold up this piece of paper. And I'm going to take whatever color they say they see. Do they see blue or do they see green? And I'm going to judge whether or not black people are colorblind. That's a study. But when I have census data that says black man, black woman, black man, black woman, black man, black woman, and I check, and then I count the number, that's not a study. That's not a study. This is just the information. This is just
That's a
what it
census. A
is.
census is a survey. A study is a survey. When you do a study,
A
you do a
census
receipt,
is
a
a
research,
count
you
of
collect
a
data, and
census
from
of
that
a count
data,
is a
you
count
take.
of the census is a count of who is in this country. This is our country is set up. The way that we spend money by Congress is set up by how the census data comes across. So if you want to argue the accuracy of the census, plus or minus 1 or 2 or 3%, if you look at the census data, it'll tell you that plus or minus 1 or 2 or 3%. But this is census data, meaning I didn't just pick up these numbers and be like, I feel like X amount of people are married and X amount of people are unmarried. What this shows is a drastic increase of unmarried black women, where white women has stayed relatively the same between 10 and 5%. Unmarried black women were stayed roughly around 5%. And now, as of we just saw, 50% of black women are unmarried as of right now. That's what I was getting at. So for some women that think they're trying to say that they want to be married, y'all don't want to be married.
And
Y'all
you're
don't want
not
to be
asking to
married.
be married. Men are not asking women to be married.
Why
So
would
how
I
are the
why
women going
would
to
I
get
ask an
married if the men
argumentative
are
woman
not
to
asking
marry
to be
me?
married? The
Why would
men
I
are
ask
not
an
asking to be
argumentative woman to be
married.
married?
They're not
What
quality
value is an
men
argumentative
who
woman?
have they're not
What value is an
quality men
argumentative woman?
who have the capabilities.
See, the interesting thing about this mute button, I hate to use it. I hate to use it. But since I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like the law doesn't allow me to like put pause on you, right? And I'm not going to do that. I don't feel like I should do that. And I'm not going to yell over anybody because I mean, that would be rude. So the only way that I can even get this to where people can listen is if I mute you. And I don't want to mute you. I think that's like, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like some kind of it's like a panelist, like internet kind of thing that you shouldn't do to other people. You shouldn't mute, you don't want to have to mute people, right? And it's kind of rude. So I don't want to mute you, but I have absolutely no problem muting you. We're not going to talk over each other. Now I'm going to allow you to speak here in a second because I would like to have your opinion and your insight, but I'm not going to ruin my broadcast and yelling and screaming over some lady that I don't know. So Cody, you want to add something while Meb cools off? As far as like because like you're not married either, are you?
No, I'm a single man.
Single man with no kids, correct?
Yes.
Now, if you met a woman that you felt was like really on your program, she like believes in like your path, right? You're like, hey, look, I got this job. I'm going to do this. This is the plan. This is how you fit. And if you felt like if you met a woman that fit the program, would you ask her to marry you?
Yeah. But
If
if
you were,
she
go ahead.
if she rebellious and aggressive and unappreciative, hostile, and the Bible tell you about not going with a quarrelsome woman. You know, I'm not going to even take the chance to do that because you saw what happened to a Christian, and there was another brother, I think a week or two ago, he got killed by his girlfriend. His girlfriend was pregnant and she stabbed him, and they were arguing over food in the microwave.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
I
So
heard about that.
yeah, and it's like, and he got stabbed in the neck before and didn't press charges on the woman. I'm like, that's a red flag right there. If a woman pull a knife on you and she's very hostile and aggressive and masculine, and you fighting over cornflakes in the morning, man, I don't have time for all that.
Yeah. I mean,
We're
it's
already
dangerous, right?
enough adversities as it is.
Exactly. I'm trying to, here it is. Oh, you know what? Here it is. I'm trying to, where is it? There is, come on, let me have it. I know you don't want to let me have it, but let me have it. So I too, if I was if I was in a relationship with a woman that was bought into the program that as a man I had set up, if she was down with the plan that I had and didn't seem like she was going to not only be argumentative, but, under my, my, my authority, then I would absolutely ask her to marry me. But that's not my experience. And I think that there's a lot of level-headed men that would get down on one knee and ask the question, but we're not going to do it at our own demise. And seeing as how Black women call the cops on Black men more than anybody else, I have a hard time understanding or seeing the value in, putting all this trust and energy and effort into a woman that sees no loyalty to me.